Those who love medical dramas are in for a treat with Max's 2025 series, The Pit, and not only that, but the show offers a great parallel to another beloved fictional physician, Dr. House. First released in January 2025, The Pit takes place at the fictional Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Hospital, also known as The Pit, where interns have just started their first shift and hospital veterans take on another day of traumas and disasters. With the first season now completed, The Pit has received a flood of praise for its accuracy and emotional effect. Medical dramas are a particularly popular genre among TV lovers, and it is often the case that those who love one medical series will probably like another. One show that gained a solid following during its 8-season run is House. In this drama, Dr. Gregory House takes on strange medical cases every week alongside his crew of young medical students. There are countless ways in which The Pit is different from a series like House, but one of the most noticeable is the distinction between The Pit's Dr. Robbie and House's Dr. House. Dr. Robbie from The Pit is caring, empathetic, and doesn't abuse his employees. Robbie can be tough but only when he needs to be. Arguably, one of the best parts of The Pit is Dr. Robbie. Portrayed by Alum, Noah Weil, Robbie is a senior attending who assists in teaching the new interns and takes on some of the most difficult cases in the emergency department. Although Robbie is as intelligent, skilled, and occasionally reckless as Dr. House, his personality is completely different. Robbie has no sense of ego and never abuses his employees. On the contrary, he is empathetic, kind, and eager to teach them what he knows. Robbie certainly has grievances, but they are almost never against his fellow doctors. What makes this distinction between Robbie and House so much better is that Robbie isn't a completely sweet character. He definitely has his moments of anger and frustration, and he will yell at an employee if necessary. Throughout The Pit, he scolds Mohan for being too slow, gets into a heated disagreement with McKay over a potentially dangerous patient, and blows up on Langdon after discovering his drug addiction. However, unlike House, Robbie's intentions are always for the betterment of the hospital, not for his own amusement. The only character he really targets is hospital chief, Gloria. Dr. Robbie is emotionally invested and affected by his patients' outcomes. Robbie's emotional state is integral to The Pit. David Saunders, Jackson Kelly, walking away from Dr. Robbie, Noah Weil, in The Pit Episode 1. Robbie is as caring to his patients as he is to his peers. Regardless of injury, background, or anything else, Robbie treats all his patients with respect. The same cannot be said for House, who generally meets his patients with scorn and outright dislike. Generally, Robbie makes no judgments about how a patient arrived at the hospital, and almost always gives them his attention, even when they are more of a distraction than anything, i.e. Myrna. Robbie is even willing to break the rules to save a patient, regardless of how it may affect him. In fact, Robbie's emotional attachment to his patients is part of what makes him such a compelling character, and the opposite can be said for House as well. In other medical series, doctors often forget about their patients once the episode ends, no matter how positive or negative the outcome of the case. Yet, in The Pit, Robbie is clearly haunted by the people he couldn't save. The emotional consequences of his work are not glossed over, but are integral to the plot. This is true for Robbie and all the other employees at The Pit. Dr. Robbie always puts the patient above his own agenda. Robbie is a better doctor but not a better character. Dr. Robbie, Noah Weil, performing CPR on Leah to revive her in The Pit Season 1 EP 13. Image via Max. Lastly, Robbie always puts his patients above himself. The most obvious example of this is when he goes above and beyond trying to save Leah, despite knowing that she can't be saved. He does this, not only for Leah, but also for Jake. In a different way, he puts his patients and their families over himself because he knows that their emotions are important and cannot be rushed. This is why he allows the parents of a brain-dead 18-year-old to remain at the hospital for hours so that they can grieve and make decisions in their own time. There is little doubt that Dr. Robbie is a better doctor than House, if not medically, then in terms of bedside manner and mental state. Robbie is able to tackle his feelings far better than House is. That being said, House is still just as captivating as Robbie, because of his bad disposition. He intrigues viewers by pushing the boundaries of what is acceptable, and by being a talented physician, even if he's a miserable person. All in all, The Pit simply opens the door for a new kind of Dr. House.